My New Life in Equestria by MaxBeezy. Chapter 15. One Night in Las Pegasus. The train arrived in Las Pegasus after the sun went down. This was the best time to be in the city of lights, gambling, and wholesome entertainment. Las Pegasus was a place one can easily get lost in, and one where no pony would ever want to leave once they had the taste of the high life. Ponies called it the City of Sin, and contrary to popular belief, they meant it in the best possible way. Matt was forced out of the train car by the combined efforts of Shining Armor, Big Mac, Spike, and Donut Joe. They wanted to show their human compadre a good time, no matter how much he resisted. Matt was less than enthused about being in such a place. Where he came from, the city was called Las Vegas, and though he was only there a couple of times, neither trip ended with pleasing results. He would leave with empty pockets, a dizzy head, and running away from an enraged stripper for who knows what. Now that he is marrying Applejack, he plans to do everything in his power to not make such mistakes again, no matter how much his friends push him to do so. The three stallions and dragon had to resort to picking him up again, and he is carried off to parts unknown. 5 cars down, Applejack is in a similar predicament. Unlike Matt, she had never been to Las Pegasus before, but she had heard stories about it, none of them any good. She knew it was a city where one would leave with an empty wallet, a dizzy head, and an enraged stripper chasing after you for who knows what. She was also keenly aware that if she had an ounce of alcoholic cider in her body, she would be inclined to make some stupid decisions, which would more than likely cause her to make an ass out of herself. Now that she is marrying Matt, she plans to do everything in her power to not make such mistakes. The 6 ponies behind her forcefully carried her off the train and into parts unknown. The first sight Matt was taken to was a hotel and casino called Izotol's Palace, a favorite place amongst Donut Joe. In the front is a colossal stone statue of the titular creature, looking fierce and intimidating. Well, it would be intimidating if a waterfall of bits weren't falling out of its mouth and into some dark void. "It looks like he's vomiting," Matt points out.
"Yeah, it kind of does," Big Mac agrees.
"Come on, you colts, this here is where you can make some big bits," Donut Joe said. He looks at the place, pleased to see it again. Matt can see that this pony had made a ton of money there. "I'll show you the best slots in the house, but first—" They carry the poor human into the lobby, setting him down right in front of the cute mare receptionist, working the computers. The two share a moment of uncomfortable eye contact. She had never seen a being such as Matt. She shakes off the initial shock and feints a welcoming smile. "Welcome to Izotol's Palace. How may I help you?" Matt doesn't know what to say. "Excuse me, Matt." Donut Joe steps in, making flitterous eyes at the clerk. "Hey there, sweetheart." Matt looks down at her name tag. Her name is actually Sweetheart. "Donut Joe!" She is surprised to see him. They have met before. "Welcome back. The usual room?" "Not today, sweetie. I reserved the penthouse suite for this lucky guy right here." He stands, putting a friendly hoof around Matt's shoulder. He's marrying a fine honey from Ponyville. "Hey!" Big Mac pulls Donut Joe down.
"That's my sister you're talking about, Joe."
"Relax, Big Mac. I'm just being complimentary." He looks back at Sweetheart. "Just put it all on the bill. I'm paying everything for this man." "Wow, thanks, Joe." Matt is impressed. "I didn't know you had that kind of money. No offense." "None taken. I always save up a boatload of bits for Pegasus. It's kind of an annual vacation for me."
"Just in case we spend too much, you always have me to fall back onto," Shining Armor smirks. "I'm the captain of the Royal Guard, you know."
"The more the merrier, Shining," says Joe. Sweetheart gives all of them the keys to the suit. Spike hops onto the counter. She gives the little dragon a sweet smile. "Hey there, little guy. You have any questions?" "Yeah, does Arizota really live here?" Shining Armor grabs Spike with his magic, carrying him off before the receptionist could give him an answer. From the look on her face, she's heard it before, to the point where it has become unbearably annoying. The Big Apple, a hotel made to represent the city of Manhattan and a hot spot to those who like the familiar. The architecture looks like the city, only some of the landmarks are of much smaller scale and made for the purposes of the rides that are hidden inside. Applejack is carried into the lobby by her 6 friends and dropped in front of the male unicorn receptionist working the computers. The two share an uncomfortable moment of eye contact before Cadence steps in with a flirtatious smile. "Hey there, Sugarmane," she says in a sly tone. Applejack looks at the stallion's name tag. It's actually Sugarmane. Sugarmane's voice cracks. He nearly faints at the flawless beauty of Cadence. "Hey there, miss. What can I do for you?" "Well," she wraps a hoof around Applejack, bringing her in close. "This lucky mare's getting married soon, and we want to show her a good time. You can find the reservation under Cadence. Princess Cadence." She strongly pronounces her title, which causes Sugarmane to shake in his hoofs. "You don't have to worry your pretty mane, AJ." She bobs Applejack on the muzzle. "I'll take care of everything."
"Wow, thanks, princess. You really didn't have to."
"You're the bride-to-be, remember? It's okay to be spoiled just this once." "Yeah," Rainbow Dash shouts. "Here, you're the princess." The other 4 ponies agree as Sugarmane floats over the keys to the rooms. "Separate rooms?" Twilight wonders. "We're not sleeping in one place?" "Of course not," Cadence says. "Who knows if one of you gets lucky here, if you know what I mean." Every pony blushes in embarrassment. Cadence leans down to Applejack, giving her a shining key, special from the others. "You get the best room in the hotel. Everything you can ever want is there." "Everything?" Her eyes sparkle in anticipation. "Let me show you." A small army of hotel staff pour out of the front doors, bowing down to the princess, offering to take her bags. They look around for said bags and realize that neither of the ponies brought any. This was only a one-night thing, so none of them saw need to bring supplies. Nevertheless, the staff led them to the elevators, like they still wanted some kind of tip in return. Cadence was kind enough to give each staff member a few bits for their assistance. Applejack and the others follow Cadence inside the elevators up to their eventual rooms. At the top of Aristotel's palace stands the penthouse suite, created exclusively for the most fancy pants of ponies, or, in this case, a small troop of ponies, dragon and human, on a journey for the ultimate bachelor party. Statues of the Aristotle are all over the suite, in the kitchen, the corner, even the bathroom, where the faucet looked like the creature's mouth. It was impressive and overwhelming at the same time.
"Whoa,"
says Big Mac.
"This is amazing, Joe."
"Yeah, it's like I'm back in the Crystal Kingdom." Shining Armor continues to bring the praise. "I told you, I strive for the very best when it comes to this bachelor party." Spike runs to a nearby bed, bouncing on it for maximum comfort. "These beds are soft and huge." He falls flat onto the mattress, sighing in relief. "I feel like a king." Matt walks up to the window, overseeing the entire city. The lights and the faint rumble of music reverberate through his senses. He has never been this high up before in his life. He would be lying if he said he wasn't in awe of the view. However, something is on his mind.
"Is everything okay?" Shining Armor asks. "You've been very quiet on the way up."
"I'm okay," Matt reassures him. "It really is a beautiful view. I just wish Applejack was here to see it."
"You worried about her?"
"Well, you guys did take me away from Ponyville without giving me the chance to say goodbye."
"Yeah, sorry about that."
Shining Armor was sincere in his apology. "Don't worry, Cadence is treating her to her own bachelor party, so she'll be just fine." "Where did she take her?"
"I don't know. She wouldn't say."
At the top of the Big Apple Hotel is a hallway leading to all the rooms the 7 ponies will be staying in. The rooms take up the entire floor. "Wow," said Twilight. "I didn't know you rented the whole floor." "That's one of the perks of being a princess, Twi," Cadence giggles. "Whee!" screams Pinky. "What room should I choose?" She zooms to one, looks inside. "Not this one," goes to another. "Not this one," goes to another. She gasps loudly. "This one!" She rushes inside, locking the door. Fluttershy goes into one of the rooms Pinky left open. Looking through it, she trots into the bathroom. She notices that the bathtub has a mysterious faucet at the very top, which got her curiosity. "Cadence, what is that?" Fluttershy points at the faucet. Cadence walks in to see what Fluttershy is pointing at. "That's the shower, Fluttershy." Cadence chortles. "A shower? I've never heard of showers before." Fluttershy had always been used to baths back in Ponyville. She had heard the term before, back in Matt's apartment in New York City, but she did not know what it was until now. "It's like rain, but it comes out of that nozzle." "A nozzle?" she asks, but Cadence is already out of the room before answering her. Fluttershy carefully pulls back the lever, and water shoots out of the nozzle, scaring her nearly to death, immediately pulling the lever back, turning the water off. Cadence picks the room at the far end. Fluttershy picks the room next to Rainbow Dash's, Rarity chooses the one in the middle, and Twilight is the one closest to what will be Applejack's room. Cadence leads Applejack to his suite. "And this, Applejack, is your room." She opens the door, revealing a luxurious suite beyond imagination. Of all the rooms in the hotel, this is one fit for a queen. Applejack looks all around, mouth agape at the beauty and decadence of the place. She goes to the large sliding door leading to the balcony, where she can see all of Las Pegasus in front of her. The shimmering lights, the moving vehicles, everything. The awe doesn't last for long, as the look of regret befalls her face. Cadence takes notice. "What's the matter, AJ? Don't you like it?" "It's beautiful, but—" "But what?" Cadence gets closer for an answer. "You said the room had everything I wanted. I wanted Matt." Cadence groans. Not only is Applejack unhappy, but that was by far one of the cheesiest things she has ever heard. "Ugh, lighten up, Applejack. You're in Las Pegasus. You deserve to have a good time, not wallow in grief. Come on, we're going out." "Where?" "You'll see. Let's go." She nods to Twilight, who pulls a bandana over AJ's eyes, blinding her. In the casino section of Ahuzotls Palace, the gang is already underway in their quest for gambling. Joe is at the craps tables, Shining Armor is playing blackjack, Big Mac is at Dodge City Hold'em, while Spike is discovering the infuriating glory that is the slot machine. Matt stands around, watching his friends get to work on the casino floor. He looks around the casino, reminded of how remarkably familiar it all is to Las Vegas. The only game he has had any experience with are the slot machines. They were always themed back where he came from, with licensed brands such as Batman and Transformers plastered onto the machines. In Las Pegasus, it's not much different. He sees mysterious mare-do-well and Transformers machines this time. "Rats!" Spike yells in frustration, catching Matt's attention. "What's wrong?" Matt asks, walking to the enraged dragon. "I don't understand this game. It makes noises like I'm going to win something, but then I lose for some reason." "Yeah, slot machines are like that. It's all random. When certain symbols are in line, you win bits." "Why don't you try it?" "I don't know." Matt attempts to back away with hesitation. "I tend to get pretty hooked on these things." "Come on, it's your party." Matt thinks about it for a moment. One game can't hurt. Can it? He shrugs his shoulders and sits down at a Transformers machine. The symbols are familiar to him, not all that different from the franchise he knew well back home. He puts a couple bits into the machine and pulls down a lever. The symbols spin and stop one at a time. Decepticolt, Decepticolt, Autobrocken, Decepticolt, Bumblemare. Nothing. Just 2 wasted bits. Shoot, Matt sighs. Well, what's another game? He puts a couple more bits in and pulls down the lever. The bandana comes off of Applejack's eyes, and she sees that she is in some kind of bar, with a sizable stage in the back. There are many mares, but also a couple of stallions in the mix. Cadence and the others sit her down in front of the stage, sliding her a mug of strong cider. She stares at the mug for a few seconds, pondering whether she should drink it or not. Remembering her promise to herself, she shakes her head in refusal. No, she says. No drinking for me tonight, girls. Why not? Rarity asks. Don't you want to celebrate? Shucks, girls, I do want to celebrate, but not like this. She looks at Pinkie Pie. What the hell you doing with the camera, Pinkie? Nothing, she says mischievously, followed by a foreboding giggle. She points the camera straight onto Applejack's increasingly suspicious face. All right, just where the hell am I, and why is there a stage in front of us? On cue, the lights go out. A lone spotlight shines on the curtain, and a unicorn stallion comes out with a microphone floating by his lips. Hello, ladies and stallions too, no discrimination here. Welcome to Cuddly Coles. We have a big show tonight. It slowly dawns on Applejack where she is, and she does not like it one bit. Girls, she says, is this what I think it is? Well, you're not going to see some kids play, AJ, Cadence grins. Tonight we have a very special guest. Give it up for Applejack. The spotlight shines on the very shocked cow pony as a microphone floats down to her. Tell us why you are here tonight, the announcer asks. A bachelorette party? Every pony in the house cheer. Applejack looks down in embarrassment. Fantastic, the announcer says with enthusiasm. And what's the lucky colt's name? Matt. An odd name for a stallion, but beggars can't be choosers. He's not. The microphone is swiftly flown away from her and back to the announcer. What do you say, boys? He calls out to some pony behind the curtain. Shall we show this lovely cow pony how it's done? Suddenly the lights go into overdrive as techno music blasts from the speakers. The curtain opens, revealing a troop of well-built stallions ready to make the stage its slave. Applejack's eyes widen. Her suspicions weren't unfounded. This is a colt strip club. She darts a look at her friends, giving Pinky a camera-ready moment. A strip club, she shouts over the loud music. Lighten up, screams Cadence. Have some fun. She starts dancing to the beat. Rarity, Pinky, and Twilight join her. Rainbow Dash bobs her head in her seat, while Fluttershy just looks at her, still very much infatuated with her, as she was when she admitted her crush to Matt long ago. Rainbow Dash turns to her good friend. You like the music? She yells. Yeah, I guess, she says timidly. Huh? I said yeah, she says louder and more audible. Rainbow goes back to bobbing her head, while Fluttershy nervously grabs a nearby mug of hard cider and takes a massive swig. Come on, hot stuff, the announcer shouts to the stallions. You can do better than that. Show the lucky mare a good time. The stallions approach the so not into it Applejack. Oh, no. She tries backing up. It's no use. The stallions pick her up and put her on the stage, much to the celebration and hilarity of the other mares back in their seats. The stallions dance and gyrate around her as her cheeks become crimson red. She does not want to be there. Matt and the others leave the casino, with Spike, Shining Armor, and Big Mac congratulating him on a big win. He looks awfully proud of what happened in the casino. I can't believe 10,000 bets, Big Mac shouts. Not after losing quite a few bits beforehand. Matt tries to downplay the win. But you can pay for the wedding now, Shining Armor says. You have more than enough. That's a good point, Matt agrees. Thanks Celestia for banks. Would have hated carrying a bag of all those bits around. Hey Joe, what do you... They look over to see Donut Joe looking down on the ground. He has not had such good fortune as Matt tonight. You okay? Matt wonders. Yeah, I'm just not as lucky as I usually am. Lost almost half my savings. I'm sorry, Joe. You want me to give you some bits to make up the difference? Matt offers. No, that money is for you. I don't want to take your wedding money. That would make me feel like a jerk. How about you take my money? Shining Armor asks. I have millions of bits. Donut Joe thinks for a bit before answering. Okay, in a peppy tone, feeling much better. Good, confirms Shining Armor. Now it's my turn to take you colts somewhere I like. I went here on my bachelor party and had a great time. I thought you forgot what you did in Las Pegasus. I do, but I remember this place just fine. Shining Armor leads them across the strip and all the way to a building with more neon lights than all of Las Pegasus, and it's a place called Frisky Phillies. Matt's eyes nearly fall out of their sockets in shock. Oh no, guys, I'm not going into a place called Frisky Phillies. Relax, they're all of age. They're not really fillies, they all have their cutie marks. At least, I think they do. Shining Armor trails off, trying to remember. In the meantime, Matt tries to get away, but in vain, as Big Mac clamps onto Matt's shirt and drags him inside. Matt sits uncomfortably in the strip club, making occasional glances at the dancing mares on a variety of stages, with different themes. He watches the stallions and mares inside, cheering on the seductive motions of the strippers on the stage. I don't understand why you even have strip clubs, Matt says to Shining Armor. It's not like there's really that much to hide.
Don't be such a sourpuss and enjoy yourself. Speaking of enjoyment,
a particularly lovely mare named Candy Cane walks to Matt, putting a hoof around his shoulder, getting awfully close to him.
She's ready for you.
Who is ready?
Your personal lap dance.
Matt's eyes bug out again as he shakes his head in rapid succession. No lap dance, thank you.
Come on, Matt. I paid for it. The least you can do is enjoy it.
Shining Armor pleads with his eyes, attempting to give Matt a puppy dog face.
I hear she's really good.
Matt sighs. Reluctantly he gets up from his seat and follows Candy Cane to the rooms. The stallions and dragon he has left behind high-hoof each other with glee. He enters a private room through a velvet curtain. The room is lit with a strong blue light, a stripper pole, and a single seat in the middle. Matt sits down. The seat is comfortable.
She'll be with you soon.
Candy Cane winks, leaving the room. Matt has a few seconds to gather his thoughts. He takes a deep breath, shifting around in his seat, trying to find the spot that gives him the most comfort. The spot is warm, as if some pony else has been here not too long before he showed up. Okay, Matt, he talks quietly to himself. Here's the deal. You're getting married. You don't know when, but you're getting married. She's the most special mare in all of Equestria, and you're marrying her. No matter how beautiful this chick that's coming into the room is, she'll be nothing compared to the one you'll be spending the rest of your life with. However, you should probably try to find some enjoyment out of this. How about you imagine Applejack as a stripper? Yeah, that sounds awesome. He hears the curtains ruffle and finally open. The mare dances inside with all the seduction that the mares were displaying on the stage, maybe even more so. She wears a sexy magician's outfit, her cape twirling along with her body, exposing some sensual lingerie. She stops her spin and looks into Matt's eyes. A look of familiarity strikes her. He recognizes those eyes. More importantly, he recognizes that mare. She only flung him into a tree. Troll? Trixie? Trixie seizes her dance, closes the curtains, and storms over to him. What are you doing here? I'm having my bachelor party. What are you doing here? Trixie works here. At Frisky Phillies? I thought you were a magician. Trixie can have more than one job. Besides, what was it about the hot and sexy Trixie you did not get from the sign out front? There's a sign of you out there. I was too blinded by the lights to notice. Then why are you in this room? Because Shining Armor paid for the dance. If I knew it was you, You what? I would have freaked out a little for one thing. The two stare, out of awkwardness for moments. Look, I don't want to do this as much as you don't, so... Matt begins to get up, but Trixie pushes him back onto the chair. No, there aren't any refunds at Frisky Phillies. Better make yourself comfortable and no touching the dancer. You're kidding, right? He can't believe she's going through with this. Trixie does not kid, she sighs. She sways left to right, loosening herself up after being rigid with surprise. Matt watches her like a psych patient would watch a swinging pocket watch to commence hypnosis. Suddenly she goes into the dance. She stands on her back legs like she was a human, dancing and spinning around the pole. Matt watches her gyrating body, admitting that she's a very good dancer. She removes her cape, tossing it at him. It's warm and soft, like a blanket. So, you're getting married? Trixie wasn't aware that more trolls like you existed. Again, I'm a human, Trixie. She presses her back against his shoulder, using a hoof to caress his face. And I'm marrying a pony. Trixie goes onto the floor, slowly removing a fishnet stocking from her leg. Oh, who, may I ask? She tosses the removed fishnet away. Applejack. He notices the name gives her a pause. You know her? Trixie tied her up once. She stands back up, guiding her foreleg all around her body. Really? Matt says, interested. Not like that, you strange creature. She removes another fishnet. She challenged my rope skills, and I responded by tying her up. She takes off her hat, placing it on Matt's head. Trixie never thought that she would find a being such as you attractive. Provocatively, she takes off her lingerie. There's nothing left to remove. But Trixie has been wrong before. She twirls and straddles Matt, her legs tight around his waist. The two look into each other's eyes as a realization dawns on her. This is doing nothing for you, is it? Can't say that it is. He chuckles, shaking his head. You are good at this, though. If I were a weaker man— Trixie is surprised that you're restrained. Every colt thus far has fallen head over hooves for Trixie after just a few minutes. Maybe— Her horn glows, and Matt's hand is suddenly flung onto her flank. She makes his hand give her flank a squeeze, hoping for a reaction from him. Anything? Nope. Very firm, though. You work out? She lets his hand go, scoffing in disappointment. Trixie is annoyed at how in love you are with this mare. Won't even let me get to the big finish. Don't tell me you harbor some secret feelings for me. I've had enough of that to last a lifetime. Trixie laughs loudly. Don't flatter yourself. You are not even close to being Trixie's type. She glances at the curtain. Now that shining armor Trixie likes. Sorry, he's married. Like that's going to stop some pony as great and powerful as Trixie. She giggles. Do you always refer to yourself in the third person? Only when Trixie is around others. She gets off of Matt, taking her hat back. Well, it's been fun, but our time is up. Matt reaches into his pocket, pulling out a small bag of bits. The dance has already been paid for. This is for you. He gives her the money. Why? Just take it. He holds the money to her. After a moment of hesitation, she takes it. You can come to the wedding once we set a date. Trixie doesn't do weddings, but Trixie will consider your offer if Trixie isn't back on the road. You know, I might have said this before, but you really are not as mean as others have been saying. I tried to take over Ponyville once. Fair enough, but my point still stands. He chuckles. You take care of yourself. You too, human. Matt walks out of the private room and back into the main room. He sees the guys hanging around the stages, whooping and hollering at the mares dancing, tossing bits at them, all the while drinking some hard cider. Matt shakes his head, chuckling as he does it. Having enough of this place, he exits the club, leaving his friends to their own devices. Applejack stands at the sink in the bathroom of the Cuddly Colts strip club. The sounds of cheering are muffled to her as she cleans her head of whipped cream and chocolate. Dang stallions, using my head to make a banana split, she says with disgust. Finished, she puts the soaking wet hat back on her head, examining her face in the mirror. She is tired and wants nothing more than to go to bed and sleep away her troubles. Not exactly what you expected, did ya, AJ? She talks to herself. Of course not. I totally expected my head to be used for some on-stage dessert eating. The sarcasm is not lost. She shakes her head. I just want to go home. I hope Matt's okay. Moments later, Applejack comes out of the bathroom. The rest of the gang is in high spirits, drinking and screaming at the stage for the stallions to take their underwear off. The only one not doing much of anything is Fluttershy, aside from downing her 10th cup of hard cider, her eyes derping as she finishes emptying out the mug. Applejack notices Pinky had left her camera on the table. On a whim, she takes the camera, walking out of the club before things got really raunchy. The cow pony walks through the streets of Las Pegasus, looking for directions back to her hotel. Being brought to this place underneath a blindfold really made things more difficult than need be. She would ask tourists, citizens, even bought a map, but she still had a little trouble finding what she was looking for. She turns on the camera, looking through the viewfinder, watching the world through the lens. She wasn't much of a technology guru, but she got the hang of it just fine. She presses record and points the camera at her face. Well, here I am, walking the streets of Las Pegasus. I don't know where I am, and this map's as useless as a baby guns versus a freight train. I hope I find what I'm looking for soon, or else I'm going back to that club. I really hate this place. She turns off the camera, looking at it intently as she keeps on trotting. Bump. She brushes against somebody hard, causing both to stumble. They both turn to face one another. I'm sorry, the male voice says. No, She freezes in place. The colt in front of her is not a colt. Matt? His eyes widen up, realizing who it is. Applejack? The two pause for what feels like ages. Like magnets to metal, the two latch onto one another for a passionate kiss, right in the middle of the Pegasus Strip, catching the attention of the inhabitants watching this odd sight. The two break away from the kiss, happy to see each other. I missed you, Matt says. I can tell, Applejack chuckles. What are you doing here? Oh, you know, gambling, going into strip clubs, the usual. Strip clubs? I left Shining Armor, Big Mac, Donut Joe and Spike over at Frisky Phillies. They were having a pretty good time. And you? I was okay, but I would much rather be with you.
I left the others over at some stallion strip joint. I was looking for my hotel.
You lost?
I wouldn't have been if the others didn't blindfold me when they brought me there.
Where are you staying?
The Big Apple. What about you?
I hear Zotol's palace. It's a pretty nice suit, but there's no privacy. All of us are sleeping in there.
Cadence bought the fanciest suit in the hotel, all for myself.
She leans in for a tantalizing whisper.
No ponies allowed in, so we have all the time to ourselves.
Give me the map, Matt demands. He is now more determined than ever to find Applejack's hotel. She gives him the map. He looks at it, studying the route to get to the Big Apple. The hotel is not too far away. Swiftly he picks up Applejack and takes off running through the crowds, much to the amusement of his fiancée. Inside Frisky Phillies, the strippers known as the Milk Mare of Trottingham has left the stage. The group Matt had left was finishing picking their jaws off the floor and getting their bearings. Of the group that had drinks, Shining Armor easily had the most, downing more mugs of hard cider than any known pony in Equestria. It's a miracle that the captain of the Royal Guard is still standing after all of that.
"Whew!"
he shouts with enthusiasm. "Let's go again."
"Come on, Shining Armor, you're drunk."
Big Mac half carries the captain towards the door. Spike looks around the club and notices an important member of the crew has gone missing.
"Hey guys, where's Matt?"
The group looks around. He's nowhere to be found.
"Maybe he went back to the hotel," said Donut Joe. "I hope he's okay."
"I don't care where he is," Shining Armor slurs. "I wanna go get lucky. Yeah, you had definitely too much to drink. You're coming with us."
Big Mac and Joe carry Shining Armor out the door. Meanwhile, at Cuddly Coles, the fifth group of stallions have finished their routine and the stage is being set for the next round. The audience remains hyped, while the group of ponies for the bachelorette party are still ready to go. Fluttershy is nearly drunk from all the hard cider, but it is Cadence who has drunk the most out of them all.
"Woohoo!"
she shouts with a great enthusiasm.
"Let's go again."
"Princess," Rarity looks at her with concern. "Aren't you a little drunk?"
"Nah, Fluttershy, I'm great."
"I'm Rarity."
"Exactly, Pinkie Pie."
"Girls," the others turn to the fashion pony. "I think she's had enough."
"All right,"
Twilight agreed.
"We'll take her back to the hotel. Come on, AJ. AJ?"
Applejack is not there.
"Did any pony see Applejack?" "I remember her going to the bathroom, but that's about it," answered Rainbow Dash. "She took my camera and walked out the door," said Pinkie Pie. "What?" Twilight yelled. "Why didn't you say anything? No pony asked me, silly." "She doesn't know the way back. She could be lost out there. Oops!" "Come on, girls. We have to find Applejack." Twilight notices Cadence is a blubbering mess on the floor. "And some pony help Cadence." Rainbow Dash and Rarity help Cadence up. "Don't touch me, you perverts! Security!" the princess babbles on as she is escorted out the door. Matt and Applejack lay together in her bed inside the suit. With an arm wrapped around her shoulder, he holds up the camera, looking at the footage of her wild night inside Cuddly Coles. Applejack blushes with embarrassment as she watches herself getting grinded by the stallions as they eat banana split from her head. She makes occasional glances at Matt, afraid that he would get angry, but nothing could be further from the truth. Matt can only laugh at all the insanity that is happening in the club. "That's why your hat is so damp," Matt says between laughs. "They were having dessert in it." He cracks up some more. Yeah, love it up. I don't see your embarrassing moments on tape." No one brought a camera with them, unfortunately. I'm definitely adding this to the collection of funny moments. "You put one frame of that on the internet and I swear to Celestia—" "Relax, I'll only show it to the guys." Applejack reaches for the camera, trying to get it from him. He holds the camera up, preventing her from reaching it. She shouts to him to give it back, while he laughs at her struggle. She sits up and gets onto his lap to get a higher reach, which works. "Got it!" she shouts victoriously. "What do you say to—" She looks down to see the reddened face of her future husband. Realizing that she is on top of him, a blush graces her cheeks as she slowly takes the camera from his hands, turning it on, pointing it directly at him. "Why, Matt, I do believe that you're blushing." He puts a hand on the lens. "I'm not very photogenic," he says. Turns it off. "Nonsense." She slaps his hand off. I think you're very handsome. Tell me, was your face like this when you were getting a lap dance? Not really. I don't believe you, she chuckles. What was her name? The hot and sexy Trixie. What? Applejack nearly drops the camera. You can't be serious. I am dead serious, and now all our friends will know about it, since you recorded it. Oh, right. She nearly forgot she had the camera on. Maybe this tape will just be between us. You're not thinking what I think you are. No, gross. I would never. Then turn the camera off. Nah, I'm going to keep it on for a bit. Turn it off. Nope, she laughed. He brings her down to him, and she puts the camera down on the bed, the lens facing the two. The two laugh, but things become more romantic, and she puts a hand on her cheek, caressing it. They both go in for a soft kiss. I smell like beer and ice cream, Applejack says, breaking away from the kiss. You smell fine to me. She gets off of him and walks to the bathroom door. She opens it as she continues to stare at Matt with sultry eyes. I'm going to take a shower. She stands, putting her hooves on her lace underwear and slowly bringing it to the ground. You can join me, if you like. Applejack disappears into the bathroom. Matt watches the door, hearing the shower come on and the sound of the curtain opening and closing. He looks over at the camera. It's still recording. I'll be right back, he tells the camera, turning it off. Applejack lets the water soak her body, washing the stink of the night's shenanigans off and into the drain. Matt hops into the bathroom, clothes is nearly off, trying to get that last pesky sock removed from his foot. He falls to the floor with a thud and a chuckle as he gets up quickly, brushing off the fall like it was nothing. He opens the curtain and steps into the shower. Sorry, the tub is smaller than I thought. It's gonna be hard to find some room, she tells him. I think I can manage. He puts his hands on her shoulders, moving her up to standing position, her head reaching his shoulder. There's enough room for the two of them now. There we go. Points for being practical, she chortles. How do you like the water? Is it too hot? It's just fine, he tells her, as he plays with the tuft of fur on her chest. Considering the last time we were in water together, it was especially cold. The last time we were in water together, I was drowning. She laughs, but Matt is a little quiet, stopping his playfulness. What's the matter? I'll never forgive myself what happened that day. Matt thinks back to the day Applejack fell into the lake. He was trying to keep his distance away from, to prevent himself from telling her how he really felt. What he ended up doing was hurting her, driving her into that rickety dock, where she almost died. If I wasn't being such a jerk, you wouldn't have been on that dock. Applejack turns around, looking into Matt's eyes, full of regret and sorrow. She puts her hoofs on his chest, lovingly caressing him. Hey, you dove in and saved me, remember? It's because of you I'm still here. If you didn't follow me— Don't say that, he says. I don't want to think about what have happened if I lost you. Applejack shakes her head with a smirk. She affectionately puts a hoof on his face, bringing him closer to her. His hands move to her hips, holding them like they were in a dance. You're never going to lose me, Matt. Promise? Cross my heart, hope to fly, stick a cupcake in my eye. What was that? A pinky promise. A lot better than a needle, that's for sure. The two lock lips once more. Soon the kiss becomes more passionate. Matt reaches around her for the valve, turning it, the water getting just a little hotter. Steam begins to fill the room as he picks Applejack up by the hips, her legs wrapping around him, and he presses her against the wall. Big Macintosh continues to carry the still very drunk Shining Armor along the strip, as the others in the party clear a path to the way back to the hotel, where a nice cozy bed awaits them. They all continue to assume that Matt is there, either waiting for them or fast asleep in his own room. Shining Armor grumbles in his drunken stupor, while Big Mac has to deal with all the drool coming out of the captain's mouth.
How much further? Big Mac asks. His drool is putting a damper on my coat.
Not much further, says Donald Joe. We're getting close to— Rarity? The group stops. In front of them stands the Bachelorette group. The two parties look at each other in total wide-eyed awkwardness. Big Mac gives a slight wave to Twilight, who waves back. Spike looks to see the passed-out Princess Cadence in the floating bubble. Joe, says Rarity, what are you doing here? We're here for the bachelor party. What about you? We were here for the bachelorette party, but we have seemed to misplace the bride-to-be. She notices an absence of Matt in the group. And where is the groom? Not sure. We figured he went back to the hotel. The others ponder this. Gradually, the thought entered their heads that the two found each other amidst all the madness in the city. A smile is brought of each of them. I guess this party was a waste. All we have to show for it is a drunken captain and a drunken princess. Suddenly, both Shining Armor and Cadence violently wake up, as if they sense each other's presence. Cadence breaks from the bubble, falling to the ground on her hoofs. Shining Armor isn't so graceful, tumbling off Big Mac and face first into the pavement. He looks up to see his drunken wife.
Cadence!
He shouts, still intoxicated.
What are you doing here?
What? I doing here? What about you? She stomps closer to him. He does the same.
I'm getting lucky.
Not on my watch, you're not. Oh, yeah? He lets out a loud and strong burp. The others reel back in disgust, but Cadence remains unwavering.
Try and stop me, baby.
The princess and the captain grab onto each other, proceeding to make out in the sloppiest fashion possible. They fall onto the ground, furiously kissing one another, much to the surprise of every pony around them. The groups can only watch in horror at this terrifying display of sucking muzzles. I can't take it any more, Fluttershy shouts to the skies in a rage of inebriation. She latches onto Rainbow Dash and forces her into a long, somewhat lascivious kiss. Every pony's attention is drawn away from Shining Armor and Cadence to something much more interesting.
Oh my,
Big Mac says, jaw nearly falling to the ground. Rainbow Dash is frozen by the sudden session of locked lips and dancing tongues, but she lets herself go and gets swept up by it. The two separate and stare into each other's eyes. Your room? Rainbow Dash asks. My room. They fly off at supersonic speeds. Back to the other making-out couple. Shining Armor and Cadence get up, both determined to go somewhere more private.
Let's go,
Shining Armor announces. He takes Cadence by her hoof, and the two run off in the wrong direction. You think they'll be okay?
They'll be fine,
assures Big Mac. Whatever is left of the groups take a look at their low numbers, 3 on 3. What do we do now? Wonders Donut Joe. Morning has come. The night of partying is over. Applejack and Matt hold each other, with her head resting on his chest. They are still very much awake, and still very happy to be with one another. How many times had that been so far? Let me think about that. 5, I believe.
No way. We got to have done it more than times than that.
There was the time at twilight, that time in the apple orchard and the tool shed.
That was an interesting one.
Then when I asked you to marry me, and now, well, now.
What about when my family went to visit Appaloosa, leaving the house to us?
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that one. He looks at Applejack. Why the sudden interest in how many times we've done it?
I was just wondering if you're sick of it yet.
Me? Sick of this? Never. You're not sick of this either, are you? Matt gets a little worried.
Of course not. I learn something new about you every time.
She gets closer to his face.
Like how you like it when I bite your lip.
She does so. Or how you like it when I nibble your ear. He does so.
Or when I kiss your neck.
She does so. Or when I tickle your stomach. He does so. She immediately giggles, begging him to stop. He continues, and the two playfully tussle in the bed. He finally stops, and she is able to catch her breath.
Matt, when do you want to get married?
I don't know. It depends on you, really. He watches her while she thinks of a date.
Next week,
she says with confidence.
This time next week we will be married.
Done, he confirms. I kind of feel bad for leaving the guys back at the bar. I hope they're okay.
Yeah, I feel bad myself, leaving the girls. I'm sure they're fine.
In the next room, Big Mac and Twilight are cuddled in each other's forelegs. The muffled sounds of the music and partying out the window wakes them both up, albeit slowly. The two yawn simultaneously and see each other smiling.
Good morning, Twi.
Good morning, Big Mac.
You sleep okay?
I slept just fine, thank you.
That was a crazy night, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it got better once you showed up.
Shucks, Twi. He blushes through his red cheeks. You don't really mean that?
Of course I do, Mac. Why would you say that?
I don't know. Sometimes I think that this is just some kind of fling or something.
Big Mac?
I know you had feelings for Matt, and I was just what you call a rebound.
Don't say things like that. You're ruining this moment. It's all in the past, I promise you. There's nothing there anymore between me and him.
You're sure?
Twilight inches closer to him with loving eyes. I love you, Big Mac, she tells him. He can see the truth in her eyes. There was no deception going on behind them. A big, goofy grin graces his face.
I love you too, Twi.
I know you do. You only stole my Mr. Smarty-Pants doll a while back.
You knew about that?
I slept in your bed, Mac. Of course I know about that. They laugh. You think every pony is okay?
I'm sure they're fine.
In the next room, Cadence and Shining Armor are both sprawled over each other in bed. After having a wild night of Celestia knows what, they groan in agony at the massive hangover they are sure to be sustaining. Shining Armor is the first to sit up, rubbing his throbbing head in pain, squinting his eyes at the light outside. Cadence comes next, sitting up, doing the exact same thing as her husband. They two look at each other, and both yelp in shock. They obviously do not remember last night. What are you, what? They both yell at one another. They stop. Any attempt to talk again only resulted in them saying the exact same thing, asking the exact same questions.
How is it that we got so drunk that we still managed to get into bed together?
Why, would you prefer that I was some pony else? Asked Cadence.
No, at the very least I won't have any grief for spending the rest of my life hiding a secret from you.
Yeah, at the very least, she sarcastically mutters under her breath. I don't remember anything. Did we even do it?
I don't.
He looks down on the floor, spotting a large box of condoms.
Yep, we totally did it.
He looks inside the box.
A lot. Even drunk, we were safe about it.
Well, at least we didn't do anything completely stupid. Another groan is heard. It's not coming from either of them. Rising from in front of the bed is Trixie. She rubs her head in pain, same as them, obviously suffering from the mother of all hangovers as well. Where am I? The three lock eyes. The moment could last for decades. Hi. Down at the restaurant, Donut Joe and Rarity are having an early morning breakfast. In front of Rarity is a bowl of cinnamon, oatmeal, and coffee, while Joe has a plate of donuts and a glass of milk in front of him. He rubs his hooves in anticipation at the meal to come. Oh boy, these look great, he says with happiness. Before he can take a bite, he spots Rarity looking disapprovingly at the plate of pastries. What is it, sweetie? You eat too much of those, and you can get fat. Nonsense. I've been eating donuts since I was a foal, and I turned out all right. Got you, didn't I? Well, I suppose. But it's so many donuts. You normally only get 1 or 2. There's 8 of those there. Hey, what happens in Las Pegasus? Yes, I know, Stas in Las Pegasus. I've heard it before. She notices Joe slides a plate over to her. And just what are you doing? Maybe you can have some too? He smiles. Oh no, it's not my cheat day yet. I have to keep this fabulous figure looking fabulous. Come on, what's a few donuts? You're not going to get fat from 1 day of eating donuts. She looks down at the plate. Even she had to admit the donuts on display did look pretty tasty, especially that glazed one with the white frosting at the top and delicious-looking rainbow-colored sprinkles. Her mouth just watered. I guess 1 donut won't hurt. She picks up the donut that caught her eye. Carefully she takes a small bite out of it. Joe watches her chew, taking in all the flavor. A pause. She looks back at the plate, and then to him. She looks past him, and her eyes widen. Is that Princess Celestia? She points. Where? He looks behind him. No Princess Celestia. He turns back to see his plate of donut has been replaced by oatmeal and coffee. Rarity has his donuts and milk. Hey! Mine! She shouts at him. Okay, fine. He looks down at the oatmeal. With one sniff, he reels back in disgust. Blech! Gross! I bet the others are doing better than I am.
Fluttershy, the most timid pony in all of Equestria, has finally taken charge and consummated her long-standing crush with her best friend Rainbow Dash. It took a few gallons of hard cider, but she drummed up the courage to do so nonetheless. It was a night neither of them were ever going to forget. It was wild, it was crazy, and the few things attached to the wall are now detached and splayed on the floor in pieces. Once they were done, all they could do was stare up at the ceiling, never sleeping, never moving, just laying there until the sun came up. Only when the day broke did they make brief glances at one another, but it was always at the same time, making things even more uncomfortable.
Rainbow Dash started to speak. So, that's how you felt about me?
Yes, Fluttershy quietly spoke, almost incomprehensible to those who did not know her.
I see.
She breathes in and out, taking in the revelation.
I can't say I'm completely surprised, but wow, that was something.
I'm sorry I was so rough. I thought I had to be assertive with this kind of thing.
Oh, that was fine. I might have gotten a bruise or two, but yeah, it was fine.
Rainbow Dash looks around the room.
We probably shouldn't tell the staff what happened to cause this mess.
I agree. No telling the staff. She gets quiet again. Rainbow, what do we do now?
I don't know.
She thinks for a moment.
Do you want to go steady?
Huh? Fluttershy doesn't understand.
Like, do you want to hang out?
But we always hang out.
Yeah, but I mean how do I say this without sounding lame? Like a couple.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's okay with me.
Rainbow is already starting to get used to the idea.
Yeah, cool.
Rainbow, we kind of left the others behind. Do you think they're okay?
Yeah, I'm sure they're okay.
At the top floor of Aristotel's palace is the suite that the guys were planning to stay for the night. It is now in shambles. The statues are broken to the point of unrecognizability. The television is now a big, broken, staticky mess. The bath is full of giant inflatable rafts. The walls are adorned with splattered cupcakes, and in the middle of it all are the hangover bodies of Spike and Pinkie Pie. Spike wakes up, stumbling to his feet. The carnage is all a blur to him. All he can think about is going to the bathroom. He hobbles like a zombie to the bathroom, ready to urinate his entire body weight out in alcohol. The moment he walks in, he sees something he cannot ignore. A sleeping manticore in the middle of the bathroom. Needless to say, he doesn't have to pee anymore.
Ah!
He screams. Roar! The manticore fires back. Spike slams the door shut, pushing furniture in front of it to prevent the creature from escaping. He turns to see all the damage and destruction he and the pink pony have caused.
What the heck did we do?
He runs to Pinkie, shaking her into consciousness.
Pinkie, wake up.
Huh? What? She awakens.
Hey, Spike, how's it going? Pinkie, manticore, bathroom, destroyed room, go, now! Relax, the manticore wouldn't hurt a fly. He only gets agitated by sudden loud noises.
Uh-huh.
What? I screamed at it.
The bathroom door explodes off its hinges. The manticore roars with uncontrollable fury.
Run!
Shouted Pinkie. The two clamber to their feet and hooves and take off running like their lives depended on it. In fact, their lives do depend on it. At the train station, every pony is ready to leave the bustling city of Las Pegasus and back to the nice peaceful town of Ponyville. Matt and Applejack are the happiest of the group, ready to go back and prepare for the eventual wedding. Twilight and Big Mac make cute faces at each other, calling one another cheesy names that make the others around them groan or face off. Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy remained uneasy about their newfound relationship, but were willing to continue it. Donut Joe can't help but watch Rarity down her third box of donuts. He finds it incredible that she still looks the same as she always has. Shining Armor, Cadence, and Trixie stand with bags of ice on their heads, the migraine barely slowing down. The only ones unaccounted for—
"Don't go!"
Pinkie shouts. Spike right behind her. The others board the train. Pinkie grabs Spike with her teeth and rockets to the train car. She takes a flying leap and dives into the train car moments before the door closes. "What's the hurry?" Matt asks. He doesn't have much longer to wait for an answer, as the train station gets attacked by the Manticore. The conductor panics, commanding that the train take off immediately. It does so. As if the train was powered by jet fuel, it rides off faster than ever from the station. Moments before, the Las Pegasus police storm the station to sedate the rampaging beast. Shining Armor, you might have to pay for the damages to the hotel, Spike says. Yeah, whatever, I'll deal with it. Shining Armor brushes it off, trying to focus his attention on getting rid of his headache. So, how did you two manage to get a Manticore to chase after you? Matt wonders. Forget it, Matt, Pinky says. It's Las Pegasus. Commentary time once again for me. Because, oh my god, I don't know, this recording has I don't know, I will see when it saves, about 100 or even 200 audio tracks, because I had to stop so fucking often. There were so many parts where I just laughed my head off. I mean, Las Pegasus. I mean, some of us may know Los Pegasus. Yeah, like Los Angeles. But Las Pegasus, Las Vegas, oh my god. This chapter really reminded me of one thing and one thing only. And some of you might actually know what I'm talking about. I mean, actually two things when I think about it. First of all, Hangover. Those of you who haven't seen the movie Hangover should totally watch the movie Hangover and then listen to this chapter again, because that's so hangover. Then the next is Fear and Loss in Las Vegas. A great movie, and kinda reminded me of this. Only in Fear and Loss in Las Vegas, it's not a Manticore in the bathroom, but if I remember right, it's a tiger. Yeah, a tiger. Wow. Also this chapter was actually really funny, very enjoyable, even so it wasn't really enjoyable to read, because there was sometimes, 6 or 7 dialogues beneath each other, and behind it was not written who actually spoke. So I had to deduct who was speaking from the tone of, from the words they were choosing, and well, that isn't always that easy, because as I have mentioned before, in chapter 5 I think, the characters in the story are not really staying in character all the time. But what I really liked was, between Matt and his fiancée Applejack, they were always thinking the same thing, yeah, I'm getting married, I don't want to screw this up, I don't want to make these mistakes and such. Really great thing, I really liked it. Sincerely yours, Visual Pony.